What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be going over the Krig and CX-9 changes they just announced. So they tweeted out through the Raven Twitter that they nerfed the Krig by a little bit and actually buffed the CX-9, which is funny because it literally just came out. So we're going to cover all those changes today. I also wanted to talk a little bit about some new features that are coming to the site soon. I've got the recoil plot generator very much close to working. And by the way, if you don't follow my Twitter, that's by far where I'm the most active. I tweet all the time. I respond to a lot of tweets, so if you're looking to talk to me about something or you have a question, Twitter is the best way to ask. That doesn't necessarily mean I will for sure get back to you, but it's just the best place to ask. The Discord gets messy, so I just mostly stay on Twitter for now. And I also tweet out updates when data is updated from patches and things. So that's just the best way to actually get that information if you're looking for that. But this is the recoil plot generator. This is an example of an M4 base recoil versus an M4 with compensator and commando foregrip. I have this pretty much completely working. I have to measure all the recoil very precisely for all the weapons, and we have to finish getting all the programming done. This might come as a premium feature, we're not sure. I know a lot of you are going to be frustrated by that, and a lot of you are going to understand that, but this is a business, and I'm trying to pretty much start a company here that does this stuff, so we do have to have income. We have 2 employees right now, me and Christina, and we're looking to expand in the future. So we do have to have income, so I apologize, but some things may end up being paid. I just wanted to show this. I think the next premium feature I'm going to work on is going to be aim sway. That actually, programming-wise, I have almost done as well, but again, it's just going to take a lot of time to measure everything I need to actually get that, and the way that's going to work is actually going to be animated aiming sway, superimposed over top of an enemy, so you can see exactly how much the gun's going to be swaying over time based on how far you are from that target, so that'll be pretty cool as well. We have to decide what we're going to do with all these paid features, but I just wanted to let you know that's coming. But as always, if you guys like the content, you like the website, consider subscribing, liking the video, disliking the video. If you don't like the video, that's fine too. Tells us we need to change what we're doing. Dropping a comment, all this helps us out and helps us keep doing this. So thank you guys for watching. Let's jump into it and we'll talk about the CX-9 and the Krig changes. All right, so starting with the Krig, the only thing that they changed here, first of all, it has 2 meters less damage range, 2 to 3 meters. I didn't want to just trust the patch notes because the patch notes don't always give you the full picture of what was changed. So I did actually hop into an actual match and test these. And I got 36 meters for the new drop-off. I left the pre-nerf on there so you can compare these as well. The site does have all the updated values now. You'll see a pre-nerf or post-nerf, and then just the regular normally labeled gun will be the most up-to-date version. So 38 meters down to 36 meters for the first drop-off. There's only 1 drop-off, and stomach now has the same TTK as extremities. So it went from 33 on the stomach to 30 on the stomach now in the first drop-off, and 28 on the stomach to 26 on the stomach in the second drop-off. So just a little bit different there. If you look at the TTK chart, everything's going to be the same except that drop-off's going to be a little bit shorter. So the pink is the new Krig, and the orange is the old Krig. So the only thing that's going to be different on here is stomach. So now the stomach TTK is quite a bit worse on the Krig. That's something that really isn't going to make that much difference. I don't know. I think the Krig was probably the best option before, but now this kind of brings it in line with the C58. So I think the C58, QBZ, and Krig are all going to be the top 3 choices for long-range AR right now. I think they're all going to be pretty well equal. Like, I don't think you're going to have a huge advantage using one over the other. Seems like a lot of people are still loving the C58, even though the TTKs aren't like dramatically better. People still love that gun, so I still think that's absolutely S tier. I think those 3 would be my recommendation for long-range AR right now. All right, so I threw the C58 and the Krig on there just so we can compare TTKs. Like I said, this is all up to date on the website, so you can go look at this yourself if you want. So we're going to start with chest shots here. Chest shots, the QBZ actually has better TTKs out everywhere except from 31 meters out to 36 meters now. So the Krig only wins from 31 to 36 on chest shots. The C58 is the cyan line, which is a little bit slower than both the Krig and the QBZ. If we put it on stomach now, we're going to see the new TTK for the Krig, this pink line. C58 maintains a really good TTK. I believe it has that 5.56 damage profile, even if it doesn't use 5.56 ammunition. It has the same damage at every part of the body now, so it has the same TTK. So it maintains a really good TTK out here, and the Krig is quite a bit slower now than the C58, and it's a little bit slower than the QBZ. So I think the QBZ probably is going to take over now as the best long-range, very low recoil, higher fire rate AR, but I think the C58 probably is the best out of these 3 now. It has consistently good TTKs. It hits really, really hard, has a huge damage per mag because it shoots so slow, and it's really, really easy to control. Seems like especially players on controller like the C58. So if you're playing on Xbox or PS4, or you just play with controller on PC, I think you're definitely going to like the C58. And I think PC players like it too, but overall, they're all three great choices still. I think QBZ might take over the Krig a little bit now, and then I still think C58 is probably the best for a lot of people, but I think you should try out all three of these and see which one you can hit more shots with, because their TTKs are close enough. It's going to come down to which gun you can hit the most shots with is going to be the best for you. All right, let's do a quick overview of the CX-9 changes. So I label it as pre-buff and then just default CX-9. So the default CX-9 on the website is the most up-to-date. It's actually not just a straight buff. There's some changes. We'll talk about that, but so first of all, it got one headshot increase in the first damage range from 0 to 13 meters. It went from 33 damage to 34 damage. No changes other than that in the first damage drop-off. Second damage drop-off, it went from 28 headshot pre-buff to 30 headshot, and then it also got a 1 damage increase on chest and stomach. And we'll look at the TTK charts and see how this affects all of that too. And then for the last drop-off, it actually went from, before it had this weird damage thing that a lot of the guns have this for some reason right now. I don't know if it's a carryover from Modern Warfare multiplayer or something where they can't completely remove the damage profile, like the last drop-off, or what, but a lot of the time, the headshot and extremities damage will just change by 1 out at range for certain guns now, and I don't know why that is. Like I said, I don't know. But that's how it used to be. It used to go from 28 to 27 head and 18 to 17 extremities. Didn't change TTKs. Just had a very slight change in damage. Now the last drop-off actually is a little bit different, so it does 26, 19, 19, 17, whereas before it was 27, 20, 20, 17. So let's go look at the TTK charts. There's more going on here, so it'll be easier to make sense of it all on the actual time to kill charts. So starting 250 health chest shots. Orange is the current CX-9, and pink is the old CX-9. So now in that middle damage drop-off, you get 1 less bullet to kill on chest shots, which is nice. Out from 13 to 22 meters, the new buffed CX-9 is going to have faster time to kill on chest shots. But out past that, with that new last drop-off, it's going to be a little bit slower than it was before, actually. So it might be a little worse as a sniper support now, but better as an SMG, which I kind of like, because I feel like the Milano has shown us that if there's a good SMG that works as a sniper support, pretty much nothing else can touch it, because it has so many benefits like the mobility and the sprint to fire times and things like that the ARs just don't get. So I feel like a sniper support weapon probably should be an AR, just for the way the game needs to be balanced. So I'm okay with this as far as the last drop-off goes. Looking at headshots real fast, they're exactly the same, even though it got some headshot damage changes. And then going to stomach. Stomach, again, is the same as chest, so out from 13 to 22, it's faster than it used to be, and then from 22 on, it's slower than it used to be. Extremities, exactly the same still, even with all the changes. So it's not a huge change. We'll add a couple guns in here and compare them to the new CX-9. All right, so I've added in the OTS, the Milano, and the MAC-10, just to compare to the current CX-9 after the buffs that it just got. Well, like I said, they're not all buffs, but the changes it just got. So as you'd expect, the OTS, which is the fastest killing SMG in the game right now, in that first 8.5 meters range, is still dramatically the fastest. The Milano MAC-10 and OTS, or the Milano MAC-10 and CX-9, are all three right here grouped up out to that first drop off for the CX-9 at 13 meters. So now it just gets a little bit slower at 13 meters and is actually faster than the MAC-10 and faster than the Milano for a little bit of time there. But the MAC-10, this pink line, the CX-9 now, if you include open bolt delay, again, open bolt delay is the time from when you click or pull the trigger to the time the gun actually fires. Some weapons have a design in real life that there's a little bit of a delay between when you pull the trigger and the gun firing, so they've programmed that into the game for certain guns that have that open bolt design. The MAC-10 is one of those, so it has an extra 50 milliseconds from when you pull the trigger to when the gun actually will fire. So in a lot of situations that's important, but not always. Basically, if you and the enemy see each other at the exact same time and start shooting at the exact same time, it's important. But if that's not the case, then how fast the gun melts is going to feel basically like you're not really going to notice that open bolt delay, because it's still going to have really high DPS. But it just takes a little bit longer for that DPS to start getting outputted. So it doesn't always matter. I do think it's important, especially for SMGs, to include it just so you know worst case scenario. But the Mag 10 is quite a bit faster than this TTK if you take out that open bolt delay. But I like to include it just so you see the worst case scenario. CX-9 is very much like the Mag 10. It has super, super high fire rate. That's why I included the Mag 10, because I think they're similar feeling weapons. So this is an interesting comparison here between the CX-9 with the new changes to the Mag 10. I think this makes it look a lot more viable. Before it slowed down and was quite a bit slower than the it basically matched the Mag 10 all the way out, and now it is quite a bit faster than the Mag 10 from 13 to 22 meters. So that's kind of like an extended range Mag 10 almost. Again, super high fire rate, just like the Mag 10. Same damage per mag as the Mag 10. Mobility is going to be a little bit better on the Mag 10, but you don't have that open bolt delay. And I think the CX-9 with this change is kind of brought into the meta a little bit more. Beforehand, it was kind of like, why would I really use it over a Mag 10? But now you have this 9-meter range where it's going to be, I guess it's a little less than that. It's from 15.5 to 22 meters. So like 7 meters, it's going to be better than the Mag 10. So something worth trying. I do think the mobility is going to hurt you a little bit on it, but it's going to be a really fun gun to use. I included the Milano, even though the Milano is, in my opinion, a completely different kind of weapon. Milano has no recoil and a really slow fire rate, so it's much less forgiving. So inside 22 meters, I'm going to be taking the CX-9 over the Milano all day. But the reason I like the Milano so much is because it has those SMG stats. So it has really good sprint to fire time, really good tactical sprint to fire time, and really good mobility, but it also has really low recoil and huge damage per mag, so it just fits in perfectly as a sniper sport. There's nothing else that even comes close, in my opinion. I've made videos on that in the past. I think the CX-9, as far as an SMG goes, is going to be much better than the Milano, though. So just keep that in mind. OTS, I think, is a phenomenal SMG as well, just because it has those insane TTKs, and TTKs are so, so important for SMGs. But let's look at other shot locations. Stomach is basically the same story. The Milano looks quite a bit worse on stomach shots, but the OTS, MAC, and CX-9 are basically the exact same story as chest shots. So everything I just said holds true there. And then looking at extremities, the CX-9 is this orange line. It's actually quite a bit faster now than the MAC and the Milano, and then quite a bit faster again in that 15.5 to 22 meter range. So I really think this change brought the CX-9 pretty much into the meta. It's going to be hard to get the mobility to a point where it can compete with the Cold War guns like the MAC 10 and the OTS. But if you want something with a little more range than the OTS, and you like those high fire rate SMGs, they flinch your enemy more, makes the recoil a little easier to manage. I think the OTS is going to be or not the OTS, the CX-9 is now going to be a great choice for that. All right, so in my SMG video, I think my top 4 SMGs were the OTS-9, the Modern Warfare MP5, the MP7, and the MAC 10. I think with this change to the CX-9, I'm going to add it to that list. I'm not going to subtract anything else. It might replace the MP7. I think the MP7 still has a little bit better TTKs up close. But the CX-9 really kind of fits in now as almost like a Modern Warfare version of the MAC 10. Mobility's not going to be quite as high, but I'm really liking the way the numbers are looking as far as TTKs go. Super high fire rate, damage per mag. I think it kind of fits in there in the meta now. It's not going to be the ideal choice for super up close pushing. That's still going to be the OTS. You still want to use the OTS for that. That thing is insane. And the OTS also, it looks like it would be terrible from 8.3 out to its second drop off at 16 meters, but it's really so accurate that that's not that big of a deal. You can put so much fire on the enemy that most of the time, if you are accurate, you're going to win that fight anyway, even though the TTKs aren't very good. So I think it fits in. I don't think it's like OP. I don't think it's better than everything else, but I do think it fits in that top 5 SMGs. As far as the Krig goes, I think the Krig now is a little bit taken down just a tiny bit. I mean, it was a really small change, so it's not a huge deal. But I do think it kind of gives the edge a little bit to the C58 and the QBZ. So I think those 3 would be my top 3 ARs to use right now. C58, QBZ, Krig, probably in that order. They're all 3 fantastic. I'd say try all 3 of them out. See which one you feel like you can hit more shots with, because that's going to be the one that's the best for you. So just try them out, see which one you like. Try the CX-9 out too. I really think it's going to be pretty good based on the numbers. So we'll see how it all turns out. But just want to get a video out for you guys real quickly on the changes here today. And I appreciate you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.